Good morning, everyone. In the midst of God's children, the Lord said He would be. Doesn't take very many, it can be just 2 or 3, and I feel the same sweet spirit that I've felt of times before. Surely I can say that I've been with the Lord. Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place. I can feel God's mighty power and God's grace. I can hear the brush of angels' wings. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place. Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place. I can feel God's mighty power and God's grace. I can hear the brush of angels' wings. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place.
Thank you, and good morning, all. And good morning to our space people out there in the world of Cyberland. We're glad that you're with us. And I'm Steve Cleverly. I am your prayer chaplain this morning. And I would like to share with you, if I can, a prayer that was written back around 700 AD by a Buddhist monk. And it speaks loudly of what we are all here, why we're all here together. It's the calling to service is special. Similarly, we are alive thanks to our ancestors, and by helping the people, plants, animals, and life in our environment, we show appreciation for existing in this world. Some say that His Holiness the Dalai Lama uses this prayer on a daily basis in his morning prayer rituals. So I'd like to share it with you. It's about Histava prayer for humanity. May I be a guard for those who need protection, a guide for those on the path, a boat, a raft, a bridge for those who wish to cross the flood. May I be a lamp in the darkness, a resting place for the weary, a healing medicine for all who are sick, a vase of plenty, a tree of miracles. And for the boundless multitudes of living beings, may I bring sustenance and awakening, enduring like the earth and sky, until all beings are freed from sorrow and all are awakened. So we declare this to be so, and so we let it be. Namaste.
My name is Leslie Woods. I am your speaker for today. I am a ministerial student with Unity Worldwide Spiritual Institute, and this is the opportunity to hopefully show what I've learned a little bit. And welcome to Unity of New Braunfels. We are an open and affirming congregation, so come in your full, authentic self just as you are and shine brightly as you are. We know that many people walk different spiritual paths, and so we honor all those paths. We don't have to all walk on the same path to get to where we're going. So whichever spiritual path you're walking on, come join us, enjoy some of the teachings that we have, use the nuggets that you want to use, leave the rest behind that you don't want to use. Welcome. We're glad you're here today. I need to breathe a second. So together we have an affirmation that we say every week. This is our statement of faith. And so when we say it, we tend to say it like we mean it. So with enthusiasm, everyone, please join me in saying, there is only one presence, one power, active in my life and in the universe, God, the good, omnipotent. Man, it feels good to say that.
Good morning. Today's word is harmony. And the affirmation, let's say it 3 times together, please. Harmony is the song of my life. Harmony is the song of my life. Harmony is the song of my life. Thank you.
Indeed it is. Just want to remind everyone, if you have your cell phone with you, to please place that on silent, no ringing, no special fun ringtones or vibrating. You'll get your messages later. while you have your own divine download with us here this morning. Our vision is what we would like to see in the world, in us, and in the world as we expand out. And so together, let's say our vision statement. A world
powerfully transformed through the growing movement of shared spiritual awakening. And our core value is empowering. Together, I am empowered with the energy and strength of spirit.
We have a food drive that goes on continuously, but I tell you what, the amount of abundance that the congregants come and bring and drop off into this big, it's about this tall, big red bucket, it gets filled quickly and rapidly and often overflows, so that we can share substance with those in our community who need a little help and need a little encouragement. And it is our joy to be able to do so, and it's our gratitude for the people who take this to the food bank on our behalf. We are very grateful.
Well, we're going to celebrate the opening of our library, the Sacred Corner Library and Reading Room, with the potluck on Sunday, October 2nd at 12:30 p.m.
And the potluck, just so that you know what to bring, we have it all nice and organized. Last names. A through I, please bring dessert. J through R, bring the main dish. S through Z, bring sides and salads, please.
Sacred service opportunities. We have Board of Trustees, community outreach, garden, hospitality, lawn care, library, maintenance, media, office support, practical care, prayer chaplain, social media, welcoming, and youth education.
And our sacred service volunteer for the week is our wonderful Miss Deborah Thomas. Deb is our treasurer, serves as the Board of Trustees, bookkeeper, and youth education teacher. And for those who come and do sacred service in our church, I can tell you one thing for sure. They have exhibited the divine power of omnipresence, because I can tell you for a fact that when Deb's here in 3D, she's here, but she is also here when she's not here. And it happens that way with many of our volunteers who come in and do sacred service. Congregational song, please stand if you are able. My soul is welcome here.
Right place at the right time, and I'm just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time, and I'm just where I'm supposed to be. Let's do that again. The right place at the right time, and I'm just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time, and I'm just where I'm supposed to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. I'm in the right place at the right time, and I'm just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time, and I'm just where I'm supposed to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. I'm in the right place at the right time, and I'm just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time, and I'm just where I'm supposed to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My
our souls are welcome here. So it is all fun and games in life until it's not fun and games. And I myself love me a good competition. I love being able to compete and have a good time. But sometimes when we're not on a football field, a volleyball field, gaining your place in band for competition isn't really necessary, because if we empower each other and lift each other up, then everything shines. And so today I'm going to talk about empowering being freedom. I'm going to talk about why is it even important for us to even empower others, and then ways that we could kind of hone in on that skill. So empowering is indeed freedom. It's freedom for you for doing the empowering. It's freedom for the person that you have empowered and encouraged. And when we uplift and we give grace, it moves positive energy. Every single time we extend ourselves to encourage and lift somebody else so that they can shine their light, energy moves. Positive energy just keeps going and going and going and going. And energy never dies. So however that form stays, it stays to the next person, to the next person, to the next person, and it gives me goosebumps just talking about the possibility of that. So Paul wrote to Hebrews, "Let us consider how we may spur one another on toward love and good deeds, not giving up meeting together, as some are in the habit of doing, but to encourage one another, and all the more as you see the day approaching." So the day is in capital D, and so a lot of people think of that as the second coming of Christ. But we know that Christ indwells in us every single minute of every single day, because we are an expression of the divine. So every single day, the day with the capital D is here for us. And Paul, when he wrote his letters, he truly was building the Christian faith outward. If it wasn't for Paul, it might have looked completely different than it does now. And when I look at the maps of where Paul's territory covered, this man did a lot of work, and a lot of it through writing letters. But he encouraged and empowered other people. Do I agree with everything that Paul wrote? No. But I don't agree with everything with everybody. That's just our human condition. That's how we are to be with one another. But there are so many good golden nuggets that Paul has for us in the epistles. And so with this encouragement to spur one another on, we can see that positive move, that positive going on and changing of consciousness on our individual level and on a global level. So this story of Paul, when he's writing his letters, is pure evidence of one empowering moment gives generations of empowering moments. One empowering moment gives generations of empowering moments. One letter fed the souls of generations. Here we are, centuries later. And we're empowered and encouraged by these words that he felt called to write from Spirit. And so we have that opportunity to do that in our daily life. That when we power up and we power out, everything shines. And so it does. I'm going to tell a couple of stories here. One story is, when I was working in corporate world, we had a new employee come in, and young, eager, ready to impress, ready to verify the insurance verifications that she needed to do to make sure that the clients of ours, who were patients, got the medical care that they needed. And so it's a good little bit of friendly competition in having the highest amount of verifications for any particular insurance. And I held that record for a while. And this young one comes up to me and says, "Hey, I want to beat your record." I said, "That's great. Would you like to know how to do it?" She's like, "You're going to show me?" And I'm like, "Why wouldn't I?" "Yeah." So I gave her all the tips that I had. And she took all the tips that she had and has earned the nickname Zippy, because she came in rearing and ready to go from the get-go, and honing in on the tips from her and other people that she learned from, she not only broke my record, but she broke it substantially and created an atmosphere within the team of, well, we could do this too. And so it grew and grew. And the beautiful part about that, doing it in a corporate world, is the impact that we were making beyond the walls of that building, because people were able to get the medical needs that they were in a timely manner, because we had a little bit of friendly competition amongst ourselves. And we kind of kept it fun at work. Like I told them when I was manager, I said, okay, it's St. Patrick's Day coming up. For each goal we meet, you get to dress me like a leprechaun. And they did, green hair and all. But it's in that encouragement, in that empowerment, if we can have fun doing it, then the energy just keeps going and moving and transforming and rippling out into the world. And so I encourage you guys to power up, power out, so that everything shines. And the reason that we do this, many reasons, but one of them, it is impossible for the world to not change when we do this. And I can give some examples. One example is from one of our congregants, and I got permission before I decided to share this story, but Lancine gives, she tutors and mentors students and adults. And so we were sitting in the foyer, and she shared a story that is, well, two stories, but one that's amazing is teaching an adult in their 40s the skills that they need to not only grasp calculus and above, but to move those skills to college, to get the degree, to then become a teacher. Generations are changed because of that empowering moment. Calculus, what was the? Pre-algebra to trigonometry. I might need some tutoring because I'm not even there. But that instant of being able to be there for somebody and to lift them up and to encourage them made a difference, so that the person was like, they became a teacher. And then they're teaching kids who, I'm certain some of those kids will become teachers. And God bless the teachers. And the other thing is that our very survival depends on us empowering and encouraging others. This can be the difference of staying in one socioeconomic class. Because when there are times when, let's see, as the saying goes, if you have room at your table, don't build walls, add more seats. So if we have the bandwidth to be able to encourage, mentor, just hold sacred space. The amazingness of the power of prayer, and one of the prayer techniques that I love to use is, what are 3 words I can hold in sacred space for you? Thank you, Susan Demeline, for that teaching, because it has probably been one of the most powerful prayer tools I have ever learned, because the power in that energy, I've seen it move mountains. It's incredible. And the encouragement can come in so many different ways. It doesn't necessarily have to be in a mentoring kind of capacity. It can be in a parent-to-parent capacity. How many of us in the room and online, parents having been parents? Yes. So you know that when you come home and you get the knee baby that grows into a hip baby, that grows into an adult baby, but the minute you hit the door or they hit the door when they're driving coming in, Mom, this happened, this happened, this happened, this happened, I need. Oh, and by the way, and what about, and blah, 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 and it goes. And sometimes parents just get a little tired, not because they don't love what they do, because I love every minute I've given to be a bonus mom. But sometimes it's nice when somebody says, hey, kids are coming over to my house for the weekend, and you're like, and that instant in itself is empowering, because it's empowering the other parent to have a little bit of a respite. And that little bit of a respite helps to fill the cup so that we can continue to serve and to help and to uplift the consciousness of the world. So when we hone in, when we move into what it is ours to do in this manner, one thing for sure that you've got to do is to fill your cup. Because if you're emptying from an empty cup, it doesn't, yes, you can help somebody, but it doesn't have the same power that it could. Because sometimes if you're overly tired, you lose the joy in it. Sometimes if you're overly tired, you guilty. Sometimes help out of regret or because I have to or because it's my duty. And then in that mix, you're mixing in some positive and some negative energy, which ripples. So when we move with our cup filled, we're able to fully and joyfully help and serve others. And when I say to have self-care and to fill our cup, I'm not necessarily talking about bubble baths and manicures. I'm talking about spending time with Spirit. When we take the time, even 5 minutes, y'all, and I know I can feel it. I don't have 5 minutes. I have 5 minutes. I got this and this and this and this, this. Go lock yourself in a bathroom and pretend that's what you're doing and get yourself some 5 minutes with God. Okay? Done it. I've done it. I've had the 2-year-old with the hands underneath the door going, Mom, I'll be right out, honey. 5 minutes. You and God. Because when you get that time, you can sit and ask for what's mine to do. You can sit and just be filled. Being able to sit in the lap of the divine. Think of somebody who's held you at some point in time, whether you were a little kid or a grown-up, or somebody that gives you that hug that just feels like when you hug, you become one person. And that's what it's like being with the divine. When you sit with God in that manner, you're being held. And you know you're being held because your hair is standing on end. You know you're being held because you feel safe. So we're being empowered by the divine so that we can too go out and empower others. And after you have your cup full and running over, because y'all, there's no end to the abundant supply of the cup getting filled. It shall runneth over and over and over. And you don't have to go gathering it either. It just somehow magically just fills itself back up. So you don't have to chase the spilled milk, so to speak. But once you've done that and you have yourself restored and renewed and refreshed, look around you. It may be something as simple as somebody just venting because they have gone through the muck. They've had a bad week, they're tired, people have peopled on them, and they're just exhausted. And just hearing them, actively listening and looking at them, lovingly knowing that you've listened and said, you've got this. There's nothing that you can't do. You've got this. That's so simple yet so powerful. It is like, it's like fireworks in the sky. All you've got to do is light one little fuse and watch the magic happen in something that simple. I do want to phrase with encouragement and empowerment is not the same as giving unsolicited advice. Because we have this habit that we kind of like to help and fix people because we care about them, because we love them, because we want to to uplift, but it really isn't our job to fix. So I do ask, before you go offering the well advice, ask them if it's okay, because sometimes it may not be okay. They may not be ready to hear it. And even when you give it, when somebody says yes, you may not see the immediate results right away. And you're going to have to be okay with that. Because the same person who you offered the advice to may have to walk through what they're walking through a few times over before they can go, you know, I remember Leslie telling me about, what was that? Oh, yes, that thing. I think I might try that now. And we may never get to see it, but we've planted the seed. And when you plant that seed, we never really know where it's going to land. Because it could automatically land on fertile ground, and you can see some amazing things happen really, really, really fast. And then some may be like this cedar tree that I see on the way to San Antonio. In the middle of the highway. In between the concrete borders that keep us from crashing into each other, there's this cedar tree that is living its best life in between the cracks of humans changing their world, because at one point in time it was a dirt road down there and they had plenty of room to be. So this cedar tree is probably, I don't know, maybe about 4 feet tall now. Sometimes there's a soul brave enough, I don't know when they do this, but they decorate and throw a couple ornaments on it. How they do that and not get killed on I-35, they must find the sweet spot in the middle of the night. But that tree, it's doing its thing because that's where it was supposed to land. And that tree may grow to be only 4 feet tall, and that's what it's supposed to do. Or that tree may move slowly the concrete borders. I've seen it happen in nature pictures that come across my Facebook feed every now and again. Or it may do like I've seen on the countryside, where there's an old barbed wire fence and the tree just grows and the barbed wire is right in the middle of the tree and the tree's still growing and the fence is still there. But no matter where we're planted, we have the ability to be in our purpose. And we can be in our purpose when we power up and power out, and then everything shines. We can always be in our purpose. So when you look and you find those things, center in prayer. Because we may know right away what it is or what we think it is that we're supposed to do because we like to fix things. But that may not be what Spirit has for you to do. And so sit in that contemplative time, in that quiet time, so that you can listen. Because while you may see somebody and think, man, it would sure be nice if they blah, 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 blah. You may not be the resource for that. You may not have the time for that to do it adequately for the needs of that person. But yours to do could be, I remember you telling me about you were going through such and such, and here is this resource. Give them the contact information, where to find it, and allow that seed to drop. Because they may call the resource right then and there. Or they may not call the resource until 5 years from now. They may not call the resource till after we die. Or they may just figure it out on their own. But the point is, somebody cared enough about them to share a resource, which planted a seed, which moved the empowerment in divine timing, not our timing. And sometimes we have to get comfortable with that. Sometimes we have to get comfortable with the fact that we plant seeds and they grow in divine timing and not our timing. And it's okay. So when you're sitting in prayer and you get that nudge of, this is my thing to do, whether it's mentoring somebody over a long period of time, giving a coworker a tip on if you would just adjust this little thing, it may help. And when we do those little bits of encouragement, then we need to be able to go and live out that fifth principle that we have, which is to do the truth that we know. Our way shower showed us that through encouragement and empowerment, it changes the world. It changed the world so much that the leaders of that time didn't want him around. But there was a woman who thought, all I need to do is touch his garment, and I will be healed. If you can live your life accordingly, that a thought of just that can create the change. Because he replied to her, it wasn't I that healed you. It was your faith. She did it. Her faith did it. His living his life as the example sparked that hope, which gave the foundation for faith, for her to be able to be healed, to be changed. And that is empowering. So, power up, power out. Everything shines when we do that. Empowering is freedom. It is freedom for the self, it is freedom for the other, and eventually it is freedom for the world because it ripples on out. It is impossible for the world not to change because of this. Completely, totally impossible for the world not to change. Because if one person is empowered where they used to not be, the world just changed. Fill your cup. Spend that time with God. Fill your cup and do some self-care things. Sometimes those things are having dinner with the girls, hanging out with the guys, watching the game. And we may think it is wasting our time because it's pleasure time, joy time, but our bodies need that. Just because we're grown up doesn't mean we don't need play. Just because you're an adult doesn't mean you don't need play. And so when you get to spend that time with friends, laughing over life, venting because, good God, this happened again, but being allowed to be your full, authentic self completely and wholly with no holds back, helps you to fill your cup. And when we are there expressing as the divine, it's like a bonus. We get time with our friend, and we get time with God expressing through that friend. It's the coolest thing ever. You get time with God, and you get time with a friend who's expressing as the divine. And we're empowered. And then we can go out and we can empower. So now we've got skin in the game. We do. Empowering others affects our consciousness and the consciousness of others. Empowering others affects our consciousness and the consciousness of others. And we've got this. Power up, power out, and then everything shines. So it is. Now we'll move into a time of meditation. Rick is going to lead us and just center into our current space that we are right now in this very room.
In this very room, there's quite enough love for one like me. And in this very room, there's quite enough joy for one like me. And there's quite enough hope and quite enough power to chase away any gloom. Oh, Spirit, sweet Spirit, is in this very room, is in this very room.
And as we center into our being, take a deep breath in, knowing that love and spirit abide in this very room that we're sitting in that has no walls. Because in this very room, we have people in pews. We have people on couches, on recliners. Wherever we are, God is in this very room. And the power in this room, the power in our space, allows us to take a moment to think of a time, either in your life or in the past week in your life, where you were empowered by somebody else. And just hold that for a moment in your heart space. Feel the love. Feel the joy. Feel the empowerment that still ripples on. And in this moment right now, we give thanks for that in a wealth of gratitude. And I invite you to move yourself in thought to your personal nucleus world of looking for ways to empower. And those ways may not come to you right in this very second during this meditation, but being open to receive that tap on the shoulder from God saying, this is where you can encourage and raise the vibration, raise the consciousness. And so now we're going to move into opening our being, our heart space, our hands and feet and mouths and ears and eyes for the doing, for being that vessel, for being that extension of God. God, whisper ever so gently what it is that is ours to do. In this moment, we gently set aside ego. We set it aside because we know that the movement through spirit is more powerful than our ego. And so we remain open. We remain in humility. That we get the joy of serving. so that others can brighten and shine brighter and brighter. In this very room, in this very space, without walls, as you're bringing yourself back to the world around you, I invite you to open your eyes. Take a deep breath in. You can wiggle in your seat if you need to. And just sit in this joy for being able to empower and uplift others. And we're going to affirm together the joy of being able to do just that. I will say it once and then repeat with me the second time. I uphold and encourage the best in everyone, including myself. Together, I uphold and encourage the best in everyone, including myself. We're going to say the Lord's Prayer together. We're using a version that is the Aramaic version, which is the language that Jesus spoke. This is one of the closest translations to the original translation. So while I have become comfortable in saying the traditional version, when I read this and heard this for the first time, it brought it new meaning and new life. And so I invite you to sit with these words, hug these words a little bit, because it kind of changes perspective a little bit and makes an interesting mark on how we carry out our journey when we pray this prayer. Together, Father, Mother, birther and breath of all, create a space inside us and fill it with your presence. Let oneness now prevail. Your one desire flows through ours as energy fills all forms. Give us this day our physical and spiritual nourishment. Untangle the knots of error that bind us as we release others. Don't let appearances make us forgetful of the source, but free us to act appropriately. For age to age from you comes the glorious harmony of life. May these words be fertile ground from which our future grows. Amen. We'll have special music by Rick Busby, and we shine.
We're living in a world of worry, doubt, and fear. It's hard to see the truth in the moment of your tears. So if you need a reminder of the love that you bring, I want you to remember we're a song the angels sing, and we shine in the colors of the rainbow, and we shine like gold in the sun, and we shine with a fire from heaven, and we shine through the daylight, we shine through the night, we shine, we shine. You feel a million treasons, so you're holding back your light. You got a million reasons to justify your right. Well, here's an inspiration, it's all in the letting go. It's just a turn of the season in the universal show, where we shine like stars in the midnight, and we shine like the innocent snow, and we shine with a fire from sun, and we shine as we climb another mountain, where we shine back to heaven, shine on forever. We shine, we shine, and we shine, we shine.
Thank you, Rick. Now has come a time where we welcome our newcomers. If you are a newcomer and you're willing to, just raise your hand and introduce yourself. We have an usher that will bring to you a welcoming packet if you didn't receive it on your way in. Do we have any faces that are new to us today? Okay. I see a hand. Welcome home. Welcome home. We are glad you are back. Welcome. And so we know that we have newcomers that do visit us online. So we want to rub our hands together and we want to welcome and bless and then welcoming you back to the neighborhood. Dear friends, we love you. We bless you. We appreciate you. And we behold the Christ in you. Namaste. And while your hands are up, people in the congregation, turn around and wave to our online viewers. We are so glad that you joined us for this sacred time today. Thank you. We are glad you're here. During our time for offering, if you will take your offering that you have with you, whether it is monetary, prayer, service, love, joy, whatever you want to offer to the world, hold that close to your heart space as we say this offering affirmation together. Through a grateful, giving heart, my mind and life overflow with the abundance of God's all-powering, infinite supply. And so it is. So we will have our walk of abundance. If you're watching online, you can hold your phone up and scan the QR code. It will pop up our donation page. Or you can go to the website itself, or you can do it the nice old-fashioned way and look on the website for the address and mail us a check. And in our walk of abundance in the sanctuary, when you come up to the front, you will place your offering in the copper bowl, and you have the opportunity to take an affirmation from the wooden bowl. And these affirmations I like to call our little golden nuggets that carry us through the week. I have yet to draw the same one twice in the whole time I've been here. So come forward now for the walk of abundance. so many forms. God, we thank you for the opportunity. Thank you for the opportunity to give, because we know that when we give, whether it is monetary, in prayer, in service, in joy, in love, that what we give out comes back to us and is multiplied. Our cup runs over, pressed down, shaken, and overflows. And for this, we are grateful that we get the opportunity to give so that it expands beyond our walls into our community and into the world to make the world a better place. So it is, and so we let it be. And we lift up the prayers that are in the prayer box, knowing full well that before they were even uttered on paper, before they were even brought into our own thought, God was already stirring and moving in principle and in substance and in abundance. We know that the stirring moves. It empowers people to be able to be healers through profession, healers through ways that we may not even understand. We become those who empower others as we become one with each other and one with the divine. And for those prayers that are uplifted, held in sacred space, and answered, we give thanks. And so it is, and so we let it be. Amen. Prayer chaplain on duty today is Steve Cleverly. There was not enough time to adjust the slide before Rev Gary left on vacation, so just to clarify, if you have prayers this morning, Steve will be at the front pew. These could be prayers of concerns, they could be prayers of joys, because let me tell you, prayer chaplains love to give prayers of thanks and gratitude, as well as lifting up and holding the sacred space for things that are heavy on our hearts.
As we mentioned earlier, the Sacred Corner bookstore is having a closing sale, and select anything, place a love offering in the basket. Coming soon will be the Sacred Corner Metaphysical Library and Reading Room.
Yes. And Wednesdays, we have a prayer service. It is a meditational time that is a led meditation. We also have lunch during that time. If you'll bring a love offering, there is lunch provided for you. From 12:15 to 12:45 here in the sanctuary, we have lunch in the foyer. So you could come that day and get all kinds of filled. You get your belly filled, you get your spirits filled. It's all good that day. Join us.
Spiritual Education and Enrichment, Jesus Teachings class with Linda Gillespie, licensed Unity teacher, 5 Sundays beginning October 2nd through the 30th, 2 to 4 p.m., in person or Zoom.
I'm amazed at how fast the months go by, but it's already time to start announcing our game night. We have game night on the first Monday of the month, so October the 3rd, that's coming up, not tomorrow, but the next Monday, at 6:30 in the foyer. Bring a game, bring snacks and appetizers, and bring fun for an appropriate time to have a little bit of competition.
October Private Book Study, The 4 Spiritual Laws of Prosperity with Edwina Gaines. Gary will speak on the 4 sections of the book on 4 Sundays beginning October 2nd.
Next Sunday, we'll be accepting donations for our Focus Fund. The Focus Fund is money that's set aside outside of our ordinary budget. So we have our ordinary budget to take care of the means of being and doing church. Focus Fund is for things that, if we want to change carpet, if we want to paint walls, random different things that don't typically fall in our line items in our budget. That's what that is for. So when you come next Sunday, in addition to your regular tithe, if you have money that you want to provide for the Focus Fund, please do so. And you can also make a donation for that online. There's a drop down that you can choose Focus Fund. Now we will have special music with Rick Busby. Rick, this is the one that has words after it too, right?
That's correct. Yeah.
I missed that in that first service. So.
It's pretty easy to pick up. I am the light and the love that I am the joy and the love that is loving the world. I am the joy and the love that is loving the world. I am the joy and the love. You are the joy and the love. We are the joy and the love that is loving the world. I am the peace. I am the peace and the love that is loving the world. I am the peace and the love that is loving the world. I am the peace and the love. You are the peace and the love. We are the peace and the love that is loving the world. I am the light. I am the light and the love that is loving the world. I am the light and the love that is loving the world. I am the light and the love. You are the light and the love. We are the light and the love that is loving the world. I am the light and the love. You are the light and the love. We are the light and the love that is loving the world.
And you wonderful lights out there that are online joining us in the love of the world, thank you for joining us today. We are so glad to have your presence with us because we can feel it even though we can't see your lovely faces. Thank you.